nigga. What the fuck, nigga? Here we go again.
Yo, real talk though, man. That PS5 is coming out, man.
Yo, we live, Pippin.
Oh, we live?
What's happening?
Oh,
oh my God.
Yo, yeah. Yo, we'll talk offline about that PS5 situation, man. But I hope that person hear me right now about that PS5. So, all right, check this out, bro. Thank you all for
That's fucked up. You don't got to do them boys like that, man. Chill.
Right, man. That's crazy. Yo, thank you all for hopping in again tonight. It's your homeboy Sean. I'm with my guys. Dre, what it do, my homie?
What's happening, homie?
Yo, Stacks, thank you for joining and featuring tonight. How you doing, sir?
Featuring, huh? So we on that again. You know what? I'm doing fine.
Oh,
Fuck you, by the way. Early.
Yo, Mark, what it do down there, man, Philly?
Man, shoot, it's good, man. 3 out of the 4 teams in the NBA Conference Finals got Philly guys on it. So shout out to Philly, man.
So, how did that happen?
I don't know what's going on.
We balling out here. We do that. We do that up here, man.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Murray, Murray, what you got, man? How you doing there, man?
Nigga, I'm still trying to process shit. I don't know what the fuck I just heard. I don't know what the fuck that meant.
Yo,
but
that shit didn't come out of nowhere.
That came out of nowhere. Mark was like, yo, NBA finals coming up.
Yo, man.
You got some field representation in there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Holy shit.
Yo, Mark, what kind of hoodie you wearing, man? What kind of hoodie you wearing, man?
Fresh beard, man. You know what I'm saying? Got the fresh beard. Shout out to Jack Frost, Freeway, Tanner, Beard Gang, Philly all day. That's how we do.
Indeed. Yo, fellas, we back in here tonight, man. We got a lot of things to unpack. A lot of stuff happening across the hip-hop world. Some stuff happening in sports. You guys know we had our first week of football kicking off. NBA is getting crazy right now. I'm not interested in the NBA, but I know we got to talk about it. So, hey, let's go ahead and kick this thing off with the retro re-review of Guerilla Warfare.
We not drinking today?
Oh, my bad. Hold up. Pardon me. So, Dre, what you drinking on tonight?
I'm on the yellow Diddy juice.
Oh man, can you put that bottle in the sky real quick so we can see what it looked like?
Nah, man, because I ain't really got a bottle. I'm just lying. No, I'm just playing.
Hey, Captain, man.
Ain't that what they do for likes nowadays? I'm just telling y'all some shit. You know, you just supposed to go along with it, man. God damn.
You ain't a captain. You don't be captain, bro.
What you drinking, Merv? Cuzzo, what you doing?
What?
My Cuzzo. Tony, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Who the fuck you talking to?
Somebody said,
"Oh my God."
We got people out there commenting.
Oh, my bad. I ain't see the motherfuckers comment, so I know who the fuck is talking about. What up, Cuzzo?
Open your eyes, motherfucker.
Damn.
Who that? Merv, nigga.
No,
my name's the motherfucker talking about who that?
Yo, what is going
on? Merv, he's from New Orleans.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, shit.
Bro, what is your deal, man?
Hey, my bad.
Yo, it's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long night.
Hey,
yeah, let's start over. Let's start over.
What you drinking on, Merv?
I'm drinking. Hey, so I got some different shit tonight.
It's
that's Seagram's gin, nigga.
Gin?
Watermelon
flavor. Oh shit!
Oh my goodness!
Watermelon flavored, but it's with the twist. It's watermelon twisted flavored Seagram's gin. That's what I'm drinking on tonight. I'm mixing it with water, but I'm thinking I should leave you off for about 10 seconds to get some ginger ale at the other room because I think that'll taste better.
I remember last time Merv was drinking gin, he played Best Friends. That's all I was saying.
He played only the hook.
And he sung it. He was singing with Olivia like it was a duet.
Hey, if I leave, I'm going to get some damn ginger ale from another room. Shit. But that's what I'm drinking on tonight, fellas. Watermelon gin, man. And watermelon is healthy. So that's why I got watermelon flavored gin. Watermelon is healthy for you. It's a healthy fruit.
Okay.
Man, we got so far to go, man. You got watermelon gin. We got so far to go. Stat, we drinking on, man. Man, I bet Harriet Tubman.
I have to talk about Merv. Fuck the watermelon. You're drinking gin. The 1980s calling. They want their fucking drink back, man. Quit trying to jerk it up. You're drinking fucking gin, which means you need fucking help. You need help.
Watermelon gin.
Hey, man.
Okay.
Hey, you got. I'm versatile. You got to be a versatile drinker, man. I'm versatile, man.
Anyway, I'm about to kill this corner. This Kettle One, and it's still got the
Styrofoam cup. All right.
Okay.
There you go.
Nigga, you had like 3 days to get a red cup. Nigga, you had 3 days to get a fucking red cup.
Oh,
We're losing.
What's happening? Mark, you drinking on?
You had 3 days to get you some
water.
Mother.
There you go.
Water.
So,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I got the water too,
Sean,
Mark.
yo, listen, man. Look, don't drink no more Dasani, man. That's why you went 0 for 15 last week at the gym, man. You know what I mean? For a drink, regular water, no Dasani.
whoa!
Wow.
Yeah.
First of all, that's clear. I've
terrible.
never gone over 15.
Yo, you was over 15, seriously. Yeah,
But he did text us and say he did text us and say he was pretty off.
Yeah, bad, a little bad.
My man, hey Miles, I appreciate you texting us and letting us know the real deal. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Salute to you.
No Dasani, man. That got coke in it. No
I'm
Dasani.
do that because y'all know what time it is. Hey, let's salute to the pod tonight. I got some water myself. Gotta hydrate. So let's go to salute to the pod tonight. I got my cousin Tony Welch out there. Yo, appreciate you listening in, homie. Tony is from retired Marine Ura. He's actually from the bottom. He's from Louisiana. So I'm sure he's tuning in to hear this Guerilla Warfare Re-Review. Hey, Tony, if you want to hop on, man, message me or Dre, and we'll get you in the lobby if you want to talk that shit about this New Orleans joint we about to get into. So, guys, without further ado, man, I sent you guys a note on Monday morning that we was going to do a retro re-review on the Hot Boys, specifically Guerilla Warfare. And the reason why I wanted to pick this album, because I felt this album, although it was their second album released back in 1999, I felt this was the album that kind of got things rolling for the Hot Boys clique, the whole Cash Money crew. And without further ado, I want to kick this off where you first off, Mark. I want you to kick us off with your deep dive in this album, man, and kind of take us through what 19-year-old Mark felt back then versus 40-year-old Mark feeling right now from this album.
I'm gonna say like this, the single they had, "I Need a Hot Girl," that was a smash. That got played everywhere, right? It didn't even matter if you were up north, west coast, if you in a club, somewhere in a bar, anything, that record was played, the girls was going crazy. So I really had to respect that record, even if it's just like, yeah, this song is all right, but then you see the chicks, and you just like, oh no, this shit more than all right. I'm feeling it, right? They had a couple other joints that I liked on there. Help that they came at the No Limit crew. That was definitely a diss track. Tuesdays and Thursdays. You know what I'm saying? I like that. About Whatever, and this other song, Too Hot. I liked all of them. But I'm gonna tell you one thing about this album that it's that's not good though, right? Is that this album came out in the midst of a lot of bangers from Cash Money. Juvenile had dropped 400 Degrees, a few months earlier. BG, Chopper City in the Ghetto, Lil Wayne, The Block is Hot. They all came out in 99. And I think Cash Money was rolling so it was like a tidal wave of when they were coming out that they could have dropped anything. They could have really sang ABC 1, 2, 3, and that would have went platinum.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how hot they were. I thought this album, was okay back then. I thought it was just okay. I don't think it was nothing special because the other albums were really so good. And I think this was one of these albums where, you know, it was almost like some throwaway tracks on here. You know, Manny Fresh probably like, oh yeah, I had that one left over. I had that one left over. I had that one left over. And then they just kind of threw a collab album together, probably pumped the extra couple verses in there, and that was it. But they had so many hit records in that time span that this just went platinum just based off of that. It was kind of like, you know, like if you look at any great basketball team with a great starting five or whatever, this was starter number 4 out of the starting 5. The other 3 were stars. This one was a great role player that helped compete for a championship, and that's what I thought this album was.
Okay, good deal. I didn't know they that song actually did Cash Money, No Limit. I didn't know that. Even
this whole album is filled with little subliminal diss, mainly by BG. Even on like the Hot Girl song, Birdman threw his little shot where he was like, "Fuck a thug girl, they go and suck my dick." Yeah, that's a shot. So No Limit, well not No Limit, but P on that what is it? The Last Dawn, the double disc. He had a song called Thug Girl, and so Hot Girls came afterwards. And so that was it was a lot of little shit that was going at No Limit.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, I appreciate that. I didn't know that, man. So Murray, I want to take it up to you, man. What are your thoughts on this album, man?
Yo, you talking about 39-year-old Merv, or you talking about 19-year-old Merv?
19-year-old Merv, first year in at USC or second year at USC.
Yeah.
No, first year.
19-year-old Merv. The only motherfucking song I fuck with 19-year-old Merv was I Need a Hot Girl, because I went to the fucking clubs and that song came on. Them motherfuckers twerking. Were we calling it twerking when we was 19?
Nah,
what the fuck was calling it was 19?
We was calling back into that ass.
When they was shaking their ass, we called it in 99.
Bouncing that ass.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because remember that joint? Bounce that ass, all you hoes, bounce that
ass. So in 99, when they play Hot Girl, yo,
and in 99,
they had that damn dance floor, and they was bouncing that ass. So I Need a Hot Girl. That's right. That's the only shit that I listened to off this album back then. But listen to it now. There's a couple more songs now. My disclaimer, everybody know I'm from Georgetown, so we really only listen to damn up north shit. My first time hearing Cash Money or any of them, No Limit, any really down south kind of shit was when I came to college in 98. So my first time listening to any of this kind of music, I was fucking 18 years old. But listening to today, man, it got back then if you asked me that shit, I was like, man, that shit trash. But they got the beats is consistent throughout the whole album. Couple of We On Fire, the first song they had, We On Fire, I think that was a solid first song. It seemed like all the songs I liked was Lil Wayne was on it. And listen to it now.
Tony right, it was P-popping was a thing also.
Yeah, damn sure was. P-popping. P stands for pussy, if y'all don't know what P mean. What?
Nothing.
Nothing. Keep going. Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
All right. So a lot of songs that I like. Lil Wayne was on this shit. That the song You Dig, yo, that's a straight Juvie song. That's his MO. Just like the song Ha, when Juvie came out with Ha, like the song You Dig was, you can tell that was straight for Juvie right there. But We On Fire, Clear the Set, I Feel, I Need a Hot Girl, and Tuesday and Thursday are the songs that I was feeling the most on here. Okay. But yeah, it was a consistent album. It still wouldn't be an album that would pop in the day and be like, yo, no matter what I'm doing, whether I'm driving, whether I'm cleaning the house or whatnot, just ain't my cup of tea. But there's some nice tracks on this. Like I said, I Need a Hot Girl though. Yo, that shit is a forever classic. That single right there is a forever fucking classic.
Yeah. So Stacks, 35-year-old Stacks back in '99. How did he take this kind of album? What happened?
Aren't you? He is 82, right?
Oh my goodness.
It's the hair, man. It's the hair. It's the hair. It's the chin hair, man. The chin hair got you looking like.
It's always your own people. That's what it always is. But anyway,
we're not your people though.
In June of 19, shut up, you like fucking seal. Hey, 1999, June of 1999 is when this dropped. I was a young soldier stationed in Southwest Louisiana in Fort Polk. I didn't know anything about any Louisiana rappers until I got there. But No Limited Cash Money was the religion in that area, so much so that I mean, when you in an area, you got to kind of get in. You kind of got to get into the culture. And this album back then, 19 going on 20-year-old Stacks, it slapped. I'm talking about from A to Z. They play just about if you go out to the clubs, they playing every track, just about every track from the album, and everybody's hype. People on the dance floor, things of that nature. Now, what I did not think that I hadn't listened to this album. I know in well over a decade, if not 15 years. But when I started listening to it this week, it took me back to those times. And to be perfectly honest with you, I never thought I'd enjoy it at 41 like I did at 19. And I guess I was so ingrained in the Louisiana culture while I was stationed there. That's why I love this album so much. That I Feel track, man. I remember me and the homies would get on the dance floor. That was like the fighting track or whatever, because you get on the dance floor and cats is like bumping into each other and stuff like that. And when you saying, you know, nigga, fuck you, I feel just like you. That's one of those numerous Louisiana, yeah, yep, just like that, Dre. That's one of those numerous fight songs originating in that region. Right. It made me feel good listening to it at 41, and I still think the album is dope. Thought it was dope back then. Think it's dope now. Manny Fresh and Baby produced this album, correct?
It was Manny Fresh.
Yep.
Fresh. He did the whole thing. The whole thing.
Manny Fresh is a well-renowned producer, and he did his thing on that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now the beats, like I said, the beats were consistent and hard throughout. But Stacks, I got a fucking question, because you said you was in Louisiana during this time. Man, how the fucking dancer was when I Need a Heart Girl came on that motherfucker. Can you please fucking elaborate? Just don't incriminate yourself, but please elaborate on that motherfucking shit right there.
Just it's like I told you, Merv. It's not just that song. It was every song. So you can imagine what it was like when I'm talking about. It's almost as if you don't come to the floor on that song, if you a chick, you get kicked out of the club, and if you a dude ain't coming to the floor, that means you looking for other dudes. It was bananas. It was bananas. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. But Merv, I'm trying to tell you, when that beat dropped, everybody stopped what they're doing. Just like when Back That Ass comes on anywhere in the world, really. Same type effect.
Gotcha.
So Dre, I know this album is near and dear to your heart because you was thinking you was a little thug back then in Charleston and Charlotte. So how did this album hit you from a nostalgia feel?
Man, Lil was gone. Lil was stuck in this shit. Lil was saying he gonna bust a nigga head if he fuck with his bitch. Listen, man, when I was listening to this shit, I could not do what was supposed to be done. I could not do a retro review because, like Stacks was saying, I just found myself back in the truck, riding down Ashley Phosphate, going to the motherfucking bowling alley or going to the motherfucking Palladium or whatever the case may be. Like, and that's what it was. Like, I just, found yourself, because this is what you listen to when you get ready to go to the Armory up in Somerville, where they're gonna play They're gonna play Hot Girls, and it's gonna, hey, like he said on the song, that's exactly how it goes. You got niggas in the circle, Holly, we like that shit, man. Listen, that whole time frame was just so much love, and it was so ecstatic that I couldn't really do a retro review because I got Spotify, so that's my service that I use. Man, listen, when I woke up, I saw it. I drive a GSA. For y'all don't know, that's a government vehicle. I drive a government vehicle to work and back every day. Man, I get in the government vehicle. I got the Spotify on. It's like a 45-minute drive to work, and I'm going in. I got Hot Boys going in. Get to work. Spotify goes to the music. It goes to the radio for that album. And so much other shit started coming on, and I was just like, listen, man, hey, Set It Off, the UNLV joint, where they was going at Mystical come on. You got 8 Ball MJG with Puffy come on, like, and I would just time lapse. Like all week I've been time lapse, man. That shit has been slapping. Today, that's all I've been listening to is Hot Boys, Cash Money. I got a call from Keisha. Keisha wanted me to meet her. She said it's time for to make this relationship get deeper. Like all that shit just been bumping. It's like, listen, motherfuckers got to give Cash Money they props. Cash Money didn't have the tightest lyricists, but they put out some joints that motherfuckers can really ride to, and that's what it was, man. That shit had me amped all week. I've been geeked all week listening to that shit, and I've been like, I'm really out here like I'm 17 years old again. So I couldn't do my homework assignment this week, but hey, I appreciated that shit was all love.
That's a good thing. I'll be honest, man. I had mixed feelings about this one, only because I had to kind of go back and think about how I was in that mindset when I was 19 years old. You know what I mean? I was stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and I was just getting exposed to different people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different areas, whatever. And I remember I ran into this dude that was he was from New Orleans, and he used to always run, like, hey, Wardy, I'm about to put you on something, Wardy. And he was a cool dude, man. And he was like, yo, listen to this shit, Wardy. And I remember he used to play this shit every day in the barracks. Like every day you wake up in the morning, he playing this album. And I was like, this shit is whack. Because, you got to think about it. 99, there was a lot of heat that came out. I was still so wrapped up in Wu. You know what I mean? It was like nothing could penetrate that wall of Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? And as soon as you wake up in the morning, this dude playing Hot Boys. You know what I mean? He playing Juvie. And he playing everything from the down bottom. And I didn't appreciate it until later on. And you guys talk about how hot girls are banging in the club. Like, I wasn't a club person. I never was a club person. I don't like dancing. I don't like none of that shit. It was just, I was always like that, just a weirdo like that. You know what I mean?
Now you look pretty stiff right now. So.
Yeah, I am. I'm very stiff, like very stiff. Like that's not my thing. So
you had to take lessons for your reception.
Yo, what you doing, man? Yo, what is your deal? Like,
nigga!
Nigga!
What is wrong with you?
I said no lessons for no damn reception.
Merv got Tourette's and shit? What the fuck going on?
But
don't worry about it, man. Went over your fucking head.
When I had to listen, when I listened to this again, right? I know
it did. I ain't gonna front. It did.
So real talk.
We talk offline.
Yeah, like Tony would tell you, man. Tony would tell you. Tony and I, we go to Marine Corps ball, get drunk, and we'll make up a dance. We've been doing this dance called the Iron Man dance. Like we were just doing some shit like this on the fucking dance floor, drunk as shit. But
don't tell nobody else that story, man. We could have left that shit.
Yeah, it was cool though. But anyhow,
no, it wasn't. If it looked any kind of way,
anything you just did.
Now,
oh, y'all had a whole. Hey, they had a whole choreography going on. Like,
you were killing that shit. Iron Man dance.
This motherfucker's looking like Nick Cannon with a fucking
Tony would tell you.
Hey, Sean be like, I'm a gigolo, spend lots of dough.
That motherfucker really danced like a superhero
though. 2008. But check it though, man.
Damn.
That shit was hot, Tony.
Stop, Tony. Stop. You've lost all credibility with us now.
Hey, Merv, you know Tony. Merv, you met Tony.
Hey, that's when we got drunk in the
limo.
In the fucking limousine?
Yes, in Colombia.
In Colombia?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What Tony? What shit? He know what the fuck I am.
Tony. Yes, remember you? It was all of us.
Cause that's some Marine Corps shit, nephew.
Christian Marine Corps.
Yeah, next topic.
No. He's no. We ain't gonna talk about what he do. Don't worry about it.
Good deal. Christian, he got that stuff for cheap. Yeah, that was Tony. You were on the limo that night.
No, he ain't got nothing for cheap.
Yeah,
he's an airman.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So,
cool ass nigga.
Yeah, Tony, cool ass nigga.
Tony got me fucked up that night.
He did. We stopped
drunk up.
You were drinking gin. You was drinking
raggy.
You.
My bad.
Oh, he just got all right.
My bad. We cannot talk. My bad. But we did. Hey, we got. Cause Bias was with us too. Remember?
Huh?
Bias was with us as well. Yeah. That was Tony night. He was about to marry my wife's cousin. But that's
okay.
He talk offline. Yeah.
Shit.
But we didn't hook up again for real though. Cause he's back down here. We need to hook up again for real. But anyhow, cause he never retired. But my bad. So listen, check this out. When I was fun fact, back when I was 19 years old, I did a freestyle to the Clear the Set beat. Right?
Oh my gosh.
And my shit was better than Lil Wayne joint. But
boy, listen, the goal is to keep people on here, okay? We're not trying to send people away.
But real talk though, I do think, in my opinion, I think that Juvenile was the star of this album. I think that Juvie was a star. And the reason why I say that is because, in my opinion, Respect My Mind was where Juvie, if you listen to Juvie rapping, I know, Dre, you said in the beginning, you didn't get a lot of lyrics from this album. I disagree.
No, I didn't say that. That's not what I said.
You said they wasn't known for lyricists.
Okay, they were known for lyricists. Okay. So Juvie, again, 19-year-old Sean would not give this an opportunity. Listening to this again, I'm like, Juvie really barred up in this entire album. And in my opinion, I think that Respect My Mind is where he actually went to, like, he really went in that shit, honestly. And I couldn't appreciate it then the way I can appreciate it now. I still don't think this is a classic album, in my opinion. I think it's a necessary album. I think it's an essential album because based on the fact that you had that big movement out of Cash Money that Mark mentioned earlier, you had that movement that followed all of this. And this was their second album. And now that you guys are saying how they were dissing Cash Money, now I'm thinking about what I heard. Like, I can see the subliminal messages they were throwing at Cash Money. So I say that to say this. I would give it probably three flames in my overall assessment.
You said what?
I'm glad you
Hey,
3 flames.
Them biting wannabe soldiers, they already know. Everybody know who the original Hot Boys is. Like, this is just some of the stuff that they were saying. Like, they really was coming at No Limit's neck.
I didn't pick up on it because you got to realize I wasn't listening to No Limit, right? You know what I mean? So I couldn't put it together at that time. But now that y'all saying it, I'm like, okay, I can see it.
I think you're the only person that gave the flames. So
yeah.
Anybody else gonna give flames? I give it 2.
Okay. Damn.
What?
Okay.
Did I stutter? My bad. Hold up. I give it 1, 2. 1, 2 flames.
Motherfucker, you tripping. 4. I'm going with 4. Fuck that.
4.
You damn right. Y'all so disrespectful.
Man, listen,
Nigga,
this
is hold up, wait, man. You going with 4 because you remember an ass in the fucking club in Louisiana. You think about that ass you was behind when you was in Louisiana. That's why you giving it 4.
No. Listen, here's the thing. That is a very minute part of that album. That was only one song. Yeah. And this is something that I've never liked about Cash Money. Cash Money always got stereotype for making a certain type of music because it was bling bling and the #1 stunner and stunting like my daddy. That's not Cash Money MO. If you listen to what BG talking about, you listen to what Turk and Juvie and all them are really talking about, they're not talking about stunting at all on this album. There's not one stunner song on this album. There's one song where they're talking about, hey, shake your ass. It's just that those became huge radio hits. Project Bitch, that was a huge radio hit. So they didn't get the credit that they deserve on the type of music that they made. It was pigeonholed to be, all they want to talk about is flashing money or whatever the case may be. And that really was not the case.
Right. Yeah, and as again, I didn't pick up on that till I listened to it again, because back then you couldn't tell me that. I was, to your point, Dre, I was only listening to what they were playing on the radio. I wasn't diving into the album itself. But listening to Juvie spit, I can see why Jay-Z did this shit and tried to do the hot remix, because Juvie was hot. Juvie was killing the shit back then. He had bars. I thought
was seasoned.
Lil Wayne was corny to me. I'll be honest with you. Lil Wayne was the corniest one. I'm glad that Gilly and Philly helped him out. It got him to where he's at right now. But Lil Wayne back then, to me, was corny. That's just my opinion, though.
And Merv, Merv, let me clarify really, really quick, because what you said couldn't have been farther from the truth. Me and Dre are probably on the same shit on this album. I played that album this week, and it made me feel how I felt when I was 19 years old. That's why I'm giving it 4. Period.
Cool. Okay, gotcha. You know, felt. You know that felt. So you give it a 4 felt, not 4 flames. You give it 4 felt, because it made you felt. You felt good and shit from 19 years ago. I got it.
Make it feel warm and fuzzy inside. So, Mark, what you got, man? I'm sorry.
I hate this.
I'm sorry.
We got to do better, man. We're supposed to be uplifting one another. Oh, no, my bad. That was Stacks.
Man.
We good. We don't have to uplift Stacks. My bad.
Man, shoot, I gave it 3. I would say like this. The one thing that I kind of appreciated, from this album is that, it was street. And I'm like, man, everybody who know me know that's my MO anyway. So I appreciated that. I love that I Need a Hot Girl record. I loved it because the girls loved it. Like, they loved it. So it made me love that shit too.
And that's why I fuck with you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when they play that record, all these chicks run like a damn stampede to the damn dance floor. So you running after them, you got bottles and drinks in your hand and shit, trying not to spill this shit so you can, fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that record, but I appreciate, the street shit that they had. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, even being from up north, and I'm like, some of this shit, I'm like, all right, I don't even know what they saying on that, but then I'm like, then you connect the parts where you do connect, like, oh yeah, riding around, all right, yeah, I can roll with that one, yeah. I'm so, even though it was down there and, we was, beans and all that up here, I still could feel that because I could feel the vibe. So, yeah. So I give it 3 flames.
Yo, Mark, let me ask you this, man, because you said you followed because the females followed it. Were you that type of guy that used to like slow jog to the dance floor when the song come on? Like the slow jog to the joint?
Hey, nah, Mark B done slipped the DJ at 20 to let him know, give him a signal like, yo, it's coming on. It's coming on. So Mark already be on the dance floor.
Right, can I play it off?
You know what? Yeah. I'm gonna say like this, man. I just didn't want to spill the drinks in my hand. You know what I mean? That's all I didn't want to do. Because when they ran by you, they really could knock you the hell down. You'd be like, damn, right. Little shorty, yo, she running like a fucking running back. Like, to that dance floor. Seriously, knocking niggas over, knocking drinks out their hand and shit. Right. I'm like, I just didn't want to spill my drink.
So, Merv, was that you? Were you that type of guy that when that song came on that you darted? Cause you was an athlete back then. So you had some speed on you. And
nah,
you had
man.
Some velocity when you ran.
You gotta understand, man. Football fullback. So slow bop, man.
He said Merv. He said Merv.
Like Merv, yeah. Merv was a safety.
No, Merv
was
moving. Merv was moving.
He wasn't calling you an athlete.
Yeah. You was moving.
So Merv, you ran a 4.4, right? And
4.5.
4.5.
4.5.
So back then, you being a safety.
Hey, that's a fast ass 30-yard dash, bro.
Real talk.
Did you shimmy? Did you shimmy to the dance floor, or did you just actually ran to the dance floor?
We were shocked. I love it. Hey,
Merv was in that bitch like he was like DC Young Fly. So he was like, "Excuse me." Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Hey, Dre.
Bird was playing football in the club. Bird was trying to slap his ass in the club. He was playing football in the club, man.
Listen,
like, come here.
Hey, Murray,
when this song came out, man, I was on. Shut the hell up. I wasn't a Kappa yet when this song came out, man.
Okay, all right.
I was on the football team. So when I was on the football team, no, I'm
They got practice squad in college.
Excuse me?
Do they have practice squad in college?
Excuse me?
Don't worry about it, man. That's why Lou Holtz made your ass ride the bench all the time now.
Excuse me? Hey, but like I was saying, before the peanut gallery tried to jump in this motherfucker, I was on the football team, so I was in my aggressive state. So when a song like this come on, I went to the dance floor.
This is probably not the right wording. Can we choose another word? Football players, aggressive state. Like,
nah, man, calm down. I'm just saying, yo. When a song like this came on, I locked in, and I went to let's dance. That's all I'm saying, man. I'm just
shooters gonna shoot, right?
Yeah, man, gonna shoot.
In the sucker holly, here we
Listen, I did have this move when I was in college when like songs came on and I'm locked in on somebody. You know, back then, females used to always have their backs open. They used to wear open back shit. I used to take the finger around. I just go down their back like that.
That's sexual assault, man.
No.
That's sexual assault. No. That's sexual assault. No. No. Hey, so we're gonna pivot. Hey, big shout out to Bobby. This is Bobby Blackjack on the line. What's happening, Bobby?
What up,
Bobby?
What up, Bobby? Hey, Bobby!
Oh, man.
What was that?
Yeah.
So Murph, was this before you became aphrodisiac, or this was when you was a chicken hawk?
Yeah.
Because the chicken hawk came before.
Motherfucker, you must have been watching Bugs Bunny show over the goddamn weekend, man.
Now I'm just asking because the chicken hawk is different from aphrodisiac.
Nah, this was pre-aphrodisiac. Aphrodisiac, okay. I was on a whole nother level.
Okay, got it. So you were the chicken hawk then.
Okay.
Nah, I was more like a shark.
Okay, gotcha.
Cause see, during that time I had a waterbed too.
All right, we good. So let's get into let's get into the Hey, Nicole.
What up?
Let's get into the let's get into the Conway album, man. Conway the Machine just released a dope album, King to a God. All right, so Bananas album. Yo, Mark, I hate to go back to you again, but I gotta get your feeling. This to set the tone for us on this album.
This joint was dope. This lived up to the hype. I mean, the beats were good. Lyrically, they really were just trying to assassinate some shit, and they did that. Probably, I would say like this, my favorite album that I heard this year, and I heard some good ones too. But I like this. Is far as it goes, I like this the best right now. And I'm still listening to it, so I still things I ain't catch. So when somebody had when they get on there and they had them lyrics or whatever, you want to go back and catch some shit. So it's like, I gotta go back and catch that shit. But the beats go in though. I'll just like there's one thing it's just like, all right, I'm in the car, I'm in the caddy. But then, my cousin, he pull up on me. I ride with him. He in the Benz, and he got the system in that shit. And I'm like, his joint bump hard in the cab. So that shit really go in. Like, that shit really go in, man. I love the album. I still want to listen to it some more, though. Really fine tune, what I was hearing. So I was definitely feeling it, man. It definitely, it definitely did its thing, so I was like, everybody need to go and get this album. I'm just like, listen, if you like beats and lyrics and you like that shit, you know, and flow and all of that, go get this shit. This shit is a banger for real.
So Stacks, before we got on the chat, you was talking about like where was this guy? Like you didn't know who he really was, although we were talking about it for a couple of months now.
This is exactly why he's not a part of the guys yet. He not even listening. He wanting to be us, but he's not listening to us.
He was like, who is this? I'm like, yo, we talked about this like about 3 months ago, Stacks.
I'm not wanting to be you. I'm not trying to lower my fucking standards. So let's start there. Let's fucking start there. As far as I had a chance to give it 2 listens, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. No, I did not know who this cat was, but after 2 listens, I cannot wait, like Mark said, to listen to it some more because it doesn't feel like an album that was made. It feels like an album that was made in early 2000, maybe the late 90s. It doesn't feel like something that was made today. That's what I get from the short list I had so far.
All right. So Merv, what are your thoughts on that album?
Yo, the album, he starts all the intro is fucking crazy. It's like the beats, especially the first half of the album, the beats is it's not dark, but it's like it's gritty. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To me, the beats are gritty in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like I can hear like DMX going off on these beats. It's kind of like the same kind of beats, kind of feel I had when I first listened to "It's Dark and Hell Is Hot." Like the beats is crazy. I really fuck with the beats. I'm gonna finish off with Conway the Machine, but man, there was 2 features on here that I fucking loved. What's funny? Oh, okay. Hey, no. So, Lord, the Juvenile Hell, yo, that song goes so fucking hard, and everybody's the one that killed it. But Lloyd Banks, maybe he can only do mixtapes and features. Maybe that's his MO. Maybe he can't do an LP or whatnot. But his verse on Juvenile Hell is the reason why niggas was so fucking hyped when 50 was about to bring him out. He became part of G Unit and his first album was about to drop. Because he murdered that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the Lloyd Banks that had me hyped from the mixtapes, and it's like that's why I was so disappointed when he finally came out. His album that dropped, like he's one of the people kind of like Lil Wayne with the Carter 2, Carter 1, Jada Kiss in the beginning when they had to learn how to make a song. If Lloyd ever learned how to make a song, man, he'd be so fucking fire. But that first one, he killed that shit. And then I know Sean gonna like the next person I'm talking about. Yo, Method Man on fucking Lemon.
Lemon squeeze.
Hey, that motherfucker said, if you don't know I'm dope, just stick a needle in him. I was like, oh shit. Hey, listen. Method Man ripped that shit on Lemon, dog. Like those 2 features, and this ain't taking that away from Conway because the whole everything Conway put on it was dope. But I just had to mention those 2 features stood out to me, and I really enjoyed those features. Where like those 2 features, I rewind this shit and listen again, like, oh damn, because I missed this shit. Now Conway, your first 6 songs is almost like the nigga was angry. It was like somebody told him you fell off, and it was like, let me remind these motherfuckers who Conway is. Yeah. It was like the first 6 songs, like, yo, and it was like, all right, I'm about to knock this motherfucker out. So now the rest of his album, I'm just gonna jab your ass because I done won this motherfucker, and I already know I'm gonna get a decision. I don't need to waste no more energy to prove my fucking point on your ass. Mm-hmm. That song, the intro, the first song with what was it? Def Loaf? How you pronounce the motherfucking name? Def Loaf, right? Dej Loaf, yeah. Frenchie. Hey, that fucker, all praises due to the Most High. Remain thankful and humble. It's just some rules that I go by. To start off the fucking I enjoyed the fucking album. The lyrics was crazy. The beats was gritty. I really enjoyed all the beats.
Mm-hmm.
And from start to finish, man, motherfucker just went off like. But his first 6 albums, man, motherfucker was like the Terminator.
Yeah.
And it was just like, all right, yeah, you know what? I done won this motherfucker. I'm going to go in cruise control because motherfucker, I done won. So yeah, I really enjoyed the album. That was actually off the first fucking listen, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. You wanted us to talk about this album, so what made you want to dive into this one, man?
Well, everybody already kind of touched on what I was thinking. This album, man, it's like to me, because I know me and Sean for probably about a year now, I want to say, we've been talking about Griselda as a whole. And so I think within maybe the last 6 months, I think they have picked up steam in the hip hop world to where everyone else is catching up to them. And this was, even though Conway always shined, this is Conway's really his first time to shine. Like, yo, this is my album. I'm gonna do this. There was a lot of absence from the rest of the crew, which I get it. I didn't like it at first. I didn't like that portion of it because I still, like I tell everybody, Benny is my favorite and Westside Gunna is the truth as well. Absolutely. So I want to hear everybody, but I get it. It's his time to shine. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they're gonna go the different route as opposed to the route that Wu-Tang took and was like, hey, we're gonna all do this together. So it's a dope album, man. It's gritty. It feels like I'm gonna go further than someone said like 99 or the 2000s. I'm gonna go back. To me, it felt like an entire album built around the way of Protect Your Neck. Like that's what I got from it, and that's why Meth he fit in so good with it because it was that gritty. If you listen to it, it was that gritty Meth. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it worked. And then also something that's
hey, you said Meth just now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Because that's what like Meth was like. Motherfuckers went the old Meth back with this is my prequel.
Yeah. Facts. And then so you throw in something simple. Something simple is these skits that are thrown in there. Where he got his man Slay talking about how he feels about Conway. And even though he's talking specifically about Conway, he was able to slickly give a shout out to the rest of Griselda or whatever, but he kept it about Conway. But only thing I didn't like about the skits is it's kind of like he put Conway on a pedestal like here and everybody else in the group is right here, which I don't believe, but I didn't like that portion of it. And then what Sean brought up, like I felt it. I was just, when he said it, I was just, because it was a dope interlude when they threw in the wrestling. You know, everybody from the South, we loved WCW at that time, NWA. They threw in the NWO and they threw in Tony Schiavone. That's a legendary voice in the wrestling game. So that was real dope. My only deal was like they always throw in wrestling, but it normally correlates with the song. And this one didn't. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And so I was like, that's the fucking point. I was like, yeah, I guess the nigga's so dope, he could just do that. So fuck it.
He just dropped it. I think to the skits, when Old Boy was giving him props, I don't think he was giving the props to put the other two on like beneath him. I think he was trying to give people understand that Conway is a shit as well. You think about it, Benny the Butcher get a lot of love. And right now his next album is highly anticipated because that album is being produced by Hit Boy. You know what I mean? So you saw what Hit Boy did with Nas. You saw what Hit Boy did with Kanye and Jay-Z, all those guys, right?
Then he throw, and one of the songs, then he throw a shout out to Hit Boy. I think it was like track 8.
Yeah, he threw a shout out to Hit Boy.
Okay.
So Hit Boy actually did a couple tracks on this album.
Yeah.
So you gotta think about it. Benny is doing an entire album with Hit Boy. So that album is anticipated because we know what Benny can do lyrically on a mic. So now you're going to put him with a top-notch producer who's on a ride, on a roller coaster right now, killing it right now. So that's anticipation for Benny. We already know what Westside Gunn brings to the table. Westside Gunn probably is the better rapper out the group, better songwriter out of the group because
he's the rapper.
He's the best rapper, right? So Conway is more of like, I'm going to hit you a punchlines all across your face, straight up. I'm going to just get gritty with it. And the nigga said, I got more. I give my shooters the green light, like Dan Tony. You know what I mean? So he's that punchline guy. that hit you across the head. Where you got Benny, who was like really just, you know, he got that style, he got that merch, got that swagger. And then you got my man Westside, who just Westside just got that flavor, man. So I think that skit was to let people know that Conway is just as good as the other two that we all give him love to.
Hey, let me ask you this. Hey, Sean, real quick. It seems like he just stopped recording that album because he was mentioning stuff that like just happened recently. Like he mentioned
it's just current.
Jamal Murray and Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell, and I'm like, man, did he stop recording this like 2 weeks ago or something?
But that's how those guys do. They don't go in and record and hold on to shit. They record and they put that shit out. That's why you got so many mixtapes. Like I was telling y'all, hey, listen, I forget the name of it, but they have a mixtape with DJ Drama. They got a Gangsta Grills. When I tell you that shit is bars on top of bars on top of bars, that's exactly what I mean. Man.
What's the name of it?
I just said I forgot the name of it, man. Shit. I just said it.
Oh.
I'll send it to you. I got it on my playlist. I'll send it to you.
No,
they got some shit though, fellas. But yeah, dope album. If anyone that's listening and you get a chance to, if you want to just really get this some really gritty music and hear some dope lyrics over some dope beats like Mark mentioned earlier, pick up this Conway the Machine album, man. King to a God, dope album. So guys, let's go ahead.
The title's fucking dope as fuck. Hey, so, real quick PSA, I switch y'all. I'm not gonna leave y'all to go get ginger ale. I know y'all didn't want me to leave y'all. So what I'm gonna do, I switched to sangria. I got some wine. And just want to switch it to that way I don't leave my fans. I'm here, y'all. I'm here for y'all. All right?
After that last conversation, I'm not sure you have any fans. I think people probably want you to sit back and reflect a little bit.
Reflect on what?
Gin and sangria.
Yeah.
We in trouble. So Phil, I want to pivot real quick, man. I know we got a couple more things we want to dive into before we hop off of here tonight. So I sent you guys a link. I think it was yesterday. Kind of give you an idea that Game and 50 Cent got a series coming to Stars. And when I sent it to you yesterday, I have very little knowledge. I only had what was shared with me. Shout out to Soul. And I just want to make sure that I kind of preface all of this together. I did some research between yesterday and today, and I didn't share with you guys purposely today because I want to get your natural reaction. So what I found out was this docu-series or whatever you want to call it is more so spearheaded by 50 Cent, right? And he's going to chronicle the beef with Game, but it's more so pointed at Jimmy Henchman, where you guys know Jimmy Henchman is serving time right now, like sentence in jail. I think he was Mark, please correct me if I'm wrong, but he was charged with the attempted murder on 50, right? If I'm not mistaken, or something to that.
Oh man, he got a slew of charges.
He got a lot of shit, yeah.
It's other things with Henchman that they tried to get him on, but they could not get him on that. But what they convicted him of, got him a life sentence, and they're still going back to old crimes and trying to pin those to him. I know that he was also, his name also came up in the Jam Master Jay shooting too. So he really was on some shit, when he was out here, and he really was pushing a lot of buttons out here, and that's really what I'll say about that.
Yeah,
I thought he got like kingpin status or some shit. I thought he was out here living like Tasha.
Well, that's why he called that life sentence, because he called
right.
Conspiracy.
So
all of that.
Why? I do have a question because I did read it yesterday. Why is 50 calling him a snitch? That part, because if I recall, he ain't say shit.
That's the thing. Like 50 is crazy, man. When I listened to 97 this morning on the Ebro joint in, they were like, yo, this not a good move. And I started thinking about like, damn, this might not be a good move because
it wasn't a good move for you to be listening to Ebro. But go ahead.
Damn. Man. Nigga might want to do business one day. But anyhow,
not with him.
Shit.
That motherfucker try to pay us $5 for a 3-hour show.
It was Sassy like, we'll take it. Like, nigga, how you
yeah, like you don't get a vote in this stats.
But after I did some research, fellas, I was like, I don't know. I think it'll be entertaining if they keep it to the script, because that Game and 50 Cent beef was legit. And Game, and I know Dre and I talked about this briefly on Monday, but Game took down G Unit by himself. He did to G Unit what 50 Cent and Company did to Murder Inc. And I don't know how 50 would feel putting something like that together, even if they reconcile by now. That's going to have to hurt them in a way because
they did.
He took them out.
I'm going to say like this. I think it was like a combination of things that happened, that was going on with G Unit that was already getting them moving sideways, right? So it's kind of like, knocking out a drunk guy, right? You already been drinking. All I got to do is put this right cross in his face and he going down anyway. And I think that's exactly what happened because it was some other shit that was going on where G Unit wasn't really getting along. There was a lot of other little stories coming out. And then Game, and really the Game thing kind of started where it was just like, yo, man, like I'm not dissing all these guys because these my guys. Nas is my guy. You know what I'm saying? This guy's my guy, right? He's like, I ain't going at them. And then that's when 50 was like, oh, yeah, I'm throwing them out the group. So then Game was just like, yo, that ignited the beef right there when he said, yo, I'm throwing them out of G Unit. And then Game just started flaming them from there on. But 50 already was having problems in-house with Lloyd Banks, with Young Buck. All those problems were already starting to go on. So then when Game's beef ignited, the whole West Coast joined Game. Like, I'm like, man, I ain't seen a coast reunite that damn fast, but I'm like, he had every West Coast rapper, past and present, was all on his side. And then that's when, it was just like, yo, call Peace, call Farrakhan, all of that stuff happened. So it was a lot going on. I can understand why 50, will want to capitalize on the moment, right? And also 50 also throws people under the bus. If you think about the Get Rich Die Trying movie, right? I'm like, man, that was aimed at Supreme. The drug kingpin, that also caught a life sentence. That was aimed at him, I forgot the character, I'm saying that the Adebisi from Oz, he played, Yummy the Kingpin in that, Majestic, right? Yeah. So and that was aimed at Supreme. So to make something aimed at Jimmy Henchman, I'm not surprised or whatever. I'm like, man, like I said, it's just rumors, but they said, 50, rolls with cops, he rolls with feds. I mean, it's out there. That's what they say. I don't know how true it is. So I'm just like, I'm like, even if he says something about these locked away kingpins or whatever, I mean, you don't see 50 get touched, and it's a reason why he doesn't get touched. It's,
So are you on here calling 50 Cent an informant at this moment?
I'm saying that these are the stories that are out there. That's what I'm saying. So,
hey,
I'm just
let me ask you this: how true? 50 Cent is known for being petty. So I heard one of the ways the beef started was he was upset because the massacre got pushed back in order for the documentary to come to the forefront to be pushed. Okay. I don't know if that's one of that's one of the reasons when I did my research that's one of the reasons why beef. That's petty. It's always going to be petty with 50 Cent. I don't like the fact that the story is going to be told by 50, right?
Yeah, but
I can't give it no merit. I can't give it no merit.
I mean,
a lot of guys though. You know what I mean? If you go back to that battle, I was like swamped into that battle because I was actually in Cali during that time when like that shit first hit off, and Game did a concert overseas, and in a concert like in that back Cali was like 50 Cent. No, I'm sorry, he was like Jay-Z can suck my dick. Rockefeller can suck my dick. Beanie Siegel can suck. Like he had the whole crowd saying this.
You really wanted to get that out.
I remember that.
Remember that? Like
I remember that.
And 50 was like, yo, what are you doing? Like, I'm good with Jay right now. Like, what are you doing? We just did the Reebok joint together and you out here talking crazy. So Game was making moves on his own without, 50 acknowledgement. Yeah. And it kind of created some friction there. Because you think about the documentary and kind of go back what you say, Stack. So like the Massacre album, the Massacre is 50 took some joints off the Massacre and placed them on the documentary. Like you got Hate It or Love It, you got Church for Thugs, How We Do. I think it's another joint that he did on that special. Was supposed to be on Massacre as well, but they push everything and all the budget and all of that good stuff into the documentary, which came out to be a very great album. So Dre was behind that because you forgot Game was on the shelf for Interscope for a long time. For a long time, he didn't get any airplay or anything like that until they kind of paired him up with G Unit and had 50 come in and work with them. So I think because they're two strong-headed people, they're butted heads. Game became his own man. You sell 5 million records out of a crew. You know what I mean? Who you gonna? They can't tell me shit. I just sold 5 million records on my first.
You do a record with him, Christian.
You know what I mean? That Christian said 50 equals 6'9". Damn, Christian. Be careful like that. Christian, be careful like that, man.
Man, trust me, he ain't nowhere where somebody finna touch him.
Okay, just making sure, man. Be careful like that, man.
Hey, nephew, good.
Yeah, Queens get the money, man. So
not worried.
Yo, Christian, hit me up on the jack, man. But so I do think, and Murray, I want to ask you this question because I know you're a 50 Cent fan as well. Do you think that the Game really took, because he took G Unit out, do you think that destroyed every momentum for 50 Cent after that at all? Because he dropped some albums after and they stole records, but it still didn't have that same smash. Do you think Game was so responsible for that?
Which part? You talking about G Unit or just the album? Or you talking about the whole thing?
That nigga was asleep.
It's like after Game dissed them, like
right, the whole movement.
What do you think? Became a 50, and do you think Game was the one that caused 50's, I guess, musical downfall in a sense? Not
musical 50 on its own. No, I don't think that. I think the G Unit. Yeah, he damaged G Unit. I think he was the cause of what made 50. Because remember, we talked about it 2 weeks ago. I think Game was the cause of what made 50 regret having G Unit, being part of G Unit, putting money in G Unit. I think Game was the major factor what made 50 said he regret. That's one thing that he regret. So I think that whole movement, the success of what it could have been, was damaged by the Game. Now, his solo joints after that, I personally think 50 got bored. He was like, yo, I done did this. I think he's always thinking about other shit. I think he started thinking and focusing on other shit, seeing what else he can do.
Yeah.
And that was for solo part. I think that's why his shit declined, because he started putting his focus on other shit.
Right. What do you think about that, Dre? Do you think that the Game's just his relentless, behavior with 50 and G Unit, do you think that destroyed the G Unit era?
Nah, I'm gonna tell you what destroyed G Unit era. It was G Unit. They wasn't good. You know what I mean? So this is what happened. 50 put out a considered to be classic album and Get Rich or Die Trying. And so off that momentum, off smart investment, he had money. Money talks. So because he was able to acquire a piece of vitamin water, then sell it to Coca-Cola and make that money, it kept his voice alive. If he didn't have the money and all he had was the things that he put out, like the Massacre and Curtis and shit like that, 50 Cent would not have been talked about. That's my personal opinion. Like I said, that's my personal opinion. But 50 would not have been talked about because 50 hasn't put out a project that will make you still want to talk about him. That's why when you hear anybody say anything, the only thing they really have good to say about 50 is Get Rich or Die Trying. I get it. He has put out a couple singles. The one the Billionaire Club or whatever that shit was with
I Get Money
with Jay. Yeah, I Get Money with Jay and them and or Puff. He put out some shit that'd be like, yeah, that shit rocking. But at the end of the day, 50 really has not been that guy in the rap lane. And then I'm gonna say this. I'm going to look just because I like shit like this. Like I was a fan of the old Beef DVDs.
Yeah, me too.
I was a fan of the Smack DVDs. Yeah. So I'm gonna look at it because I like shit like that. But to me, I think it's corny for you to go out and you try to make money off this beef. You know what I'm saying? Like now, if we got a third party who gonna come in and they're gonna try to tell the story for both sides, that's cool.
Right.
Yeah. But you're just gonna put your story out there because now you're living off the fame of Power. The what's the show on ABC? I think it's called Life. You're living off shit like that. The show that you got coming up with T.I. So now everyone sees that, hey, this guy actually can put together a nice series. So now you're getting that, and you're going to use that vehicle to trash Game some more, and then you're going to throw in Jimmy. Like, I think it's corny, but I'm going to watch it.
Let me respond real quick.
I don't really think it's going to really play like that. I think that him and Game, are going to collaborate on this and produce something. I think if this was back in the day, 50,
that's what I'm hearing too.
I can see that he could put that out, but 50 still, he's a good salesman, right? So I think he's going to be able to do this show, and it's going, Game's going to be in on it because Game, has Hollywood experience. He's been on TV and movies and all of that. So I think they're going to come together and probably put it together, in a way where it's going to be very entertaining.
Talking about Love Connection.
Now I'll say one more thing. I'll say about G Unit, right? Then this is what 50 actually said.
He was on Love Connection.
He said that,
yeah, that's why he was.
G Unit got lazy. You know what I'm saying?
Nigga, that was shade.
He was like they got lazy because he was like, they had success early, and 50, pumped a lot of, made sure the record company pumped a lot of money into their projects, and then they kind of just chilled. Well, we rich, we chilling, right? So if you look at, Lloyd Banks, Young Buck, Yayo, and so many other guys, right? Their first project had a lot of money into it. Usually it does not happen that way, but 50 made sure of it, and they just kind of chilled, and we already made it without really doing anything, and that pissed 50 off because 50, does have an intense work ethic that the G Unit did not have, and that's why, he was just like, I think he regrets it from that standpoint. Musically, they had some things, not a lot, but they had some things that were good. But it's just like, I think when the work ethic's bad, you're not going to get a good product, all around. And I think that's what happened.
Yeah. So just to wrap it up on this one, I agree with Dre.
Don't wrap it up too quick. I got to respond real quick to Dre. And to a couple things. One, the Massacre was a good album. Like the Massacre had a lot of hits on there. Matter of fact, Massacre might have had more streamlined hits than Get Rich or Die Trying. Excuse me. Oh, I thought somebody said something. Oh, excuse me. Huh?
Bullshit. Continue.
Hey, that's why he played. That's why he played Best Friends.
No, I said streamlined shit, like commercial shit. No, the Massacre was a good album. I disagree with when on that shit that he said the Massacre just got played because he had money. There's a lot.
Can we take a poll right now?
Got hits. Huh?
Can we take a poll right now? Amongst the guys, raise your hand if you think the Massacre was a good album.
I mean, y'all, if y'all want to, I ain't gonna change my fucking mind.
I'm asking.
Feel free.
I'm asking. Raise your hand if you think the Massacre was a good album.
Massacre was a a good album.
I know. I'm talking to everybody else, nigga.
Oh, okay.
Calm down.
First and foremost, there's too many fucking songs on that album. That's for one. So don't try to.
It was all right. That's it. Three songs, for that I played, man. Ski Mask Way, Baltimore Love Thing, Rider Music. That probably was it. You know what I'm saying? That's
last time you listened to that album?
Merv,
2005.
Yeah.
Merv.
Yo.
Hey,
man, hold up. Ain't no need to dive into this shit, because I ain't trying to change y'all motherfuckers' mind. We're going to agree or disagree. So ain't no need to dive into it. We need to do no fucking poll, because I ain't trying to change y'all fucking mind. I just need to respond to that shit that Massacre was a good album. You know what I'm saying? And
what just happened? What just happened? I'm scared. What just happened?
Can I say something?
Many things is a good album.
Go ahead.
First of all, 22 fucking tracks. And my Steve boys.
I said we off that. I ain't trying to change your mind. We agree to disagree.
Can I finish? Shit, motherfucker. Can I finish?
Oh.
What is wrong, Stacks? You are a guest. Respect our house, Stacks. You're a guest.
That shit get real old. Shit. Real old, real quick. But Merv, 22 tracks.
But you're a guest.
Go ahead, y'all.
You can't hear you.
Hey, for real, no, I ain't trying to be funny, but hey, but you look like one of them Chinese movies where it's like, who goes there? Over there. Wow. Like, I can't.
Yo, you gotta get off the Stacks, man. Yo, man, get off the Stacks back, man. What's wrong with y'all? But I
can't fucking hear him.
I'm gonna agree with Stacks. They did have too many songs. They had a song called "Gap Man" with him and Eminem. I just leave it at that.
You know what? Sean. Every fucking moment, every chance you get, you throw shade at the white boy, man.
Well, you like man. You like Gap Man?
Huh?
You like Gap Man song?
No, I did not.
God gave me time. Okay, you know what?
Okay, sure. So can I close this?
Hold on, real quick. And I'm sorry, back to Dre. Dre, is making money corny?
I never said making money was corny. That's not what I said.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering. That's all. Yes or no?
Is that what y'all took?
Just yes or no. That's it. Just yes or no.
No, you ain't for the yes or no me.
Hey, my bad. Hey, my bad. I was watching Power. My bad. I was watching Sax on Power, and I got my Power moment. I thought it was Sax just now. I'm sorry. It's a Power in me. I was watching a fucking TV show. My bad. I'm done.
So can I wrap this piece up so we can transition to sports?
Okay. Hey, wrap that motherfucker up like a Christmas present, Sean.
Yeah, thank you. So in closing on this topic, I would say that the game is totally responsible for derailing G Unit. I think when he went at them, he created friction in the inside. Jay had a verse when he said Caesar didn't see it because he ceased to exist, so the nigga that killed him had keys to his shit. That was Game. Game was deep inside of the G Unit thing. He knew how G Unit and 50 Cent and everybody went at Ja Rule and Murder Inc. And he used that same exact blueprint and did the same exact thing to G Unit. He went overboard with it. He kept going. This nigga filmed himself dunking on 50 Cent basketball goal on grid and tearing the goal down. He actually dunked. He jumped across the fence, dunked the goal, and take the shit down on film. And he was taking the shit to a whole different level. Game was relentless. He killed G Unit. He killed the momentum. And that's why I felt like G Unit never reached the potential that it possibly could, because he also got exiled from the group. So moving on from that, if it comes out, I'll be entertained. So I would definitely watch it. So guys, let's go ahead and move on to the NBA playoffs. I really don't want to talk about this, but I think we have to. So I want to start with Stacks on this one. So Stacks, Clippers lost last night, and now your Lakers get a chance to go up against the Nuggets. Do you think this is the end for Doc? Although he said today he's not going anywhere, do you think this is the end for Doc?
Well, motherfucker, Steve Ballmer should make his ass go somewhere. Look, listen. What has Doc Rivers done since he won that championship with the Celtics besides blow 3-1 leads? What has he done? This is the team that was supposed to be world beaters, the new dynasty, and he goes out there and lays a damn egg once again. They blew 3 consecutive double-digit leads in what, fourth quarter or second half at least. He should be fired. I don't give a Doc Rivers should not have a damn job tomorrow. Period.
Dre, do you think that there needs to be a restructure of that roster?
I'm not going to necessarily say a restructure of the roster. I'm agree with Stacks. I think if you make a change, you make a trade. Hey, you go up, you call fucking ABC, ESPN, and you say, hey, we'll give you Doc, you give us Mark Jackson. And I think you're good. So that's what I think should happen. I think what is being overlooked, I do agree, Doc should be fired as the coach. But I think what is being overlooked is Doc actually is a pretty good personnel guy. I would, as a former player, I would rival him to the likes of old boy in Boston, Danny Ainge. Like I would rival him with him as far as currently and former players. So I wouldn't say that the roster needs to be retooled, but I definitely think Doc needs to be gone. So I would definitely be on the phone with Disney and saying, hey, we want Mark Jackson. We're going to give y'all Doc, even though I hate Doc as a commentator because of his voice. But that's what I think should happen.
So, Mark, do you think that Kawhi is deserving of all of the backlash he's getting today? Like, they're killing him right now, saying this is the worst meltdown ever.
And he deserves it. And I'll tell you why. You're Kawhi Leonard. You're supposed to be, the best player in the league, right? And what does he do? Shoot a bunch of jump shots and ain't go to the basket. You're Kawhi Leonard. You can get to the basket anytime you want. And what you do, I'm going to shoot 13 threes. I'm going to shoot a bunch of jump shots from outside. When your shot isn't going, right? And this is the universal rule. When I coached, I always told, even though I would tell my shooters this, when the shot ain't going, go to the basket. Get foul to the free throw line so you can see the ball go in the basket.
But you see what you just said, though, Mark? You said when I was coaching, I would tell a guy,
go.
Like, that's coaching.
Amen.
That's coaching.
I mean, but I'm gonna say like this. I'm gonna also say this, right? Now, here's my thing with Doc Rivers, and I've said this for years, right? Doc Rivers always shortens the rotation well before the playoffs, right? He has his 7 of favor 8 guys, and that's it. And one thing, if you look at the Clippers, if you look at them, right, on the perimeter they're stacked, right, but in the interior, they only have one athletic big man, and that's Montrezl Harrell, right? They just drafted a guy who Doc Rivers gave no time to. This kid, Keegan Gelly from Florida State, who was blocking everything in the ACC. Now, you're telling me 6'10" forward that can get up and down the court, with ease and quickness. You're telling me he can't play no minutes during the whole season? So now you can't even count on him. You got another guy that they drafted from Florida State, Terrence Mann, 6'7", athletic, great defensive player. You saying that if you would have played him during the season, that Jamal Murray would have just got an easy 40 on you? Because that's what he did, because that 40 looked very easy. And this is no disrespect to Jamal Murray, because Jamal Murray was the shit, and I said it when he was coming out of Kentucky. But the point is, though, Doc shortens up the rotation. He favors all the veteran guys, doesn't give the young guys really no burn, and it burned them. Because I'm just like, in those two positions, they needed athleticism and speed on the perimeter. They needed it in the paint. They had 2 guys to do it. And then you got Jerry West, running your front office. Jerry West is the best talent evaluator of all time. He believes in deep, talented rosters, right? So what do? You use every player at your disposal. You don't just, oh, man, I'm going to just use these 7 guys. Well, guess what? That's why you lost, because the Denver Nuggets are a deeper team than the Clippers, and they shouldn't have been. But you know what? This is Doc Rivers, and it's his fault why they lost. That's it. Now I don't know, but I'm just like, man, it's his fault why they lost. I'm 10 against 7. Give me 10 each and every time.
I want to respond to the comments and as well just to people that's out there that always are saying, hey, but he didn't miss shots or he didn't do this. Listen, I got it. But if anyone knows anything, with the exception of LeBron winning the championship with Tyronn Lue, it takes coaching to win a championship. Coaching is what's going to win you a championship. You can't just get out there. You can have, and the USA has proven this, you can have the top guys in the world and you're still going to lose if the coaching is not stellar. All right? So it is Doc Rivers' fault that Kawhi is shooting 13 threes when he's not, what he went 2 for 13 last night or whatever? Like, pull his ass.
Overall.
Huh?
Let me pull up the receipts.
Right. So you pulled that at, you reeled that in as the coach. So it is his fault that that Kawhi is shooting that bullshit. It is his fault that P can't get into his bag. That is all starting with coaching. Because as a coach, I'm supposed to be able to know you. I've learned you over 82 games, and I can say the shit that's going to piss you off and get you to make the right decision, get you to make the right play. I'm going to put the right guy on the court with you that is going to vibe with you to the point where you can score, where we can get off. I'm going to have the correct defense in play to where Jamal Murray is not scoring 40 points. You know what I'm saying? So all of that falls on the coach.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's why you have it was Warren Sapp. Warren Sapp said the Tampa Bay Buccaneers never would have won that Super Bowl had Tony Dungy continued to coach that team. And he was like, I love Tony Dungy. He's a great coach. But if he would have continued to coach this team, we wouldn't have won. We needed Gruden in order for us to get to the Super Bowl and win it all. Although I think that had a lot to do with the fact that Gruden knew the entire playbook because that dumbass coach didn't change anything from Gruden. But coaching is everything.
Well, could the same thing be said for Steve Kerr?
No, I don't think so. No.
I was just like, man, because they went to they won 20 more games and won a chip.
I think that was a product. I think that one was a product of becoming a little bit more familiar with each other and really getting into your bag.
There was maturation process by the time Steve Kerr got there, and so they were already there. So I got a question. My question kind of loaded for Merv. So Merv, do you think that all of the backlash Kawhi is getting, do you think that's being represented to kind of take him out that talk to continue to raise LeBron in that talk? And my other question to that is, do you think that this is a situation where the Lakers got a clear shot at winning this whole thing right now? Like, do you see Denver even competing at this point?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Stacks.
That's good. That's good. That's got that good little question. I had to finish off my tongue grill.
I'm talking at this moment.
Excuse me? Hey, man, you sit back. We know you're a Lakers fan. He ain't asking you nothing, yo. You sit your ass down. We know you're a Lakers fan. You got your little Lakers gear on and shit. The Lakers played last night. Lakers fan happy because Kawhi out. All right, so listen. Hey, media-wise, I can see that shit because when he went to LA, he went to Clippers. It was this big thing about the new sheriff in town. There's a new LA team in the town. So everybody was picking the Clippers to be the one to beat the Lakers. Everybody had the Lakers and Clippers in the finals, the Western Finals, and that was going to be the NBA Finals. And a lot of people had Clippers beating the Lakers. So if Kawhi beat LeBron head up, that would really have finished off LeBron because it was already talk about Kawhi being more clutch and taking over. And if Kawhi won this year, both of them would have had 3 chips apiece. So I can see that narrative because NBA loves LeBron James. We talked about this before. Like I just said, his rookie year, Carmelo Anthony won. I don't know why this nigga shaking his head. His rookie year, Carmelo won Rookie of the Month every fucking year.
Every month.
But LeBron James won Rookie of the Year. That makes no fucking sense.
Can I say this in the defense of LeBron James? I know people are going to be shocked that I'm defending him. On that point, Carmelo was in the West.
Okay. And
that's a lot. One, so he didn't win. It's not so the NBA doesn't do Rookie of the Month for the entire league. They do it for the East and they do it for the West. Carmelo was in the West, but in the East, or as a rookie, you also had D Wade, and D Wade wasn't no punk at the time. So for a month, it's conceivable that D Wade could come in and do his thing and win it that month, but LeBron still be the one to win it for the entire year because Carmelo didn't have much going on in the West when you talk about rookies.
Go, and when you get a chance, go look at Carmelo rookie stats and LeBron rookie stats as well. On top of that, when you get a chance.
LeBron had more.
No, it was very similar. It was like this. It's very similar.
I know it was similar. I didn't say it wasn't similar. I said more.
So since then, LeBron has been the face of the NBA. So I can see the narrative where this could be used to still keep LeBron on a certain pedestal. So I could see that. It wouldn't shock me because they love LeBron. And now, as far as the Lakers having an easy path, you motherfucking right. Matter of fact, let me tell you, listen, this shit in a way could be a curse in disguise for LeBron. Because it would have been acceptable if LeBron loses to the Clippers. That would have been acceptable. Any of these other fucking teams, Denver, Boston, Miami, LeBron can't lose to them.
No.
LeBron can't lose them. It won't be acceptable at all. Boston's not supposed to beat LeBron and them Lakers. Miami, even though with Jimmy Butler going crazy, is not supposed to beat LeBron. Denver with the Joker, the best center in the league, all-around center in the league, and Murray, and a deep-ass Denver team where they go like 10 deep, is still not supposed to beat Braun when you got AD on the team. So LeBron don't win a chip with Kawhi and the Clippers being eliminated. The GOAT, like, you can't talk about the GOAT talk at all. Like, it's like his ceiling will be stopped this year if he don't win the fucking finals.
So I got a question for you, Sean.
Yeah.
So, all right. So first off, I want to give a shout out to Danny, the SI reporter. Beyond the court, 3-point conversation. He already told us that before everything started, when the bubble was first kicking off, he said Denver is the team that could beat the Lakers. So, but my question is this: Merv just said that he's not supposed to lose to Boston. I personally think Boston is as equally talented, if not more talented, than the Clippers.
I agree with you.
Why it shouldn't be a loss to the Celtics?
I think that the Clippers were built to beat the Lakers because they were able. You got Paul. You're expecting Paul George to be Paul George, not this guy that we saw in the bubble.
So that's Paul George, though.
You got a point,
George.
But you expect for him to do things that you would expect for him to do, right? At some point, he got to play to that potential that we know he has. And you expect for Kawhi to be Kawhi. And you expect for these other dogs that they have on that team, the Pat Bells. I mean, you got Lou. You got all these guys that they would throw at the Lakers. So the expectation was that they built this team to compete with the Lakers, right? So to your point, the Celtics is still a young team. I think that youth will backfire if they even get past Miami. You know what I mean? That's if they get past Miami.
They're not young though. This is year number 3 or 4 in the conference finals. Dating back to when Tatum and crew were rookies.
Tatum's young, but
he was a rookie. They first year they went, he was a rookie, so he got the experience.
Can I respond?
Yeah.
They're not.
So I agree with you. Far as top to bottom, like Boston is probably the best all around team that's left. Far as like when you got Tatum, you got goddamn you got Marcus Smart, you got Kemba Walker, but perception is reality. All right, the perception of Boston with a young Tatum and that team, they're considered young when you're comparing it to Braun AD. They're considered young when you're comparing it to Kawhi, Paul George. No, Kawhi is a 2-time finals MVP. You got LeBron James got finals experience. So based off of that kind of the NBA experience, as far as like in the finals, in the playoffs, and all of that, they're considered young. So perception-wise, it's like Boston ain't there yet. They're on their way up, but LeBron and the Lakers is still supposed to be that team. Like, yo, I'm the hump, and you can't get over this hump because I'm the hump. You ain't there yet. Settle down, motherfucker. This is still my league. So when you think of it like that, perception-wise, Boston ain't supposed to be there yet.
No,
Miami is not supposed to be there yet. Denver is not supposed to be there yet. LeBron is the hump. Now, the only other person that's considered on that level that was still left in the playoffs was Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi is not that hump. LeBron not hump. That's supposed to be Clash of the Titans. Go to like a game 7, and whoever won between the Clippers and the Lakers is supposed to be the champion.
Hey, let me
So
break
it's
it
off
real
of
quick.
perception.
Let me break it real quick. Yo, I'm sorry, 9:30 on the East Coast. It's time for us to bid adieu to our folks at Blackjack TV. Remember, you can catch us on Blackjack TV, which is on a channel on Zingo TV. You can catch us on Facebook
Channel
Live.
199.
Facts. You can catch us on Facebook Live. You can catch us on YouTube Live. And now you also can catch us on the 1 Mile High Radio Network. So check us out on all platforms. We there. We in your face. Salute to Blackjack TV.
No doubt. You know, let me say one more thing, man. You know, with the Nuggets, I think they have the right team, but I think they're going to get in their own way, and that's why they're going to lose this series, right? The way they're handling Michael Porter Jr., I'm not feeling it, right?
Right? Oh my God! I'm glad you brought that up.
Kid is playing some ball, but then they're yo-yoing his minutes. One game he get 25 minutes. The next game he get 10 minutes. The next game he get 12 minutes. The next game he get 30 minutes. That's not a way to beat the Lakers, right? You cannot shorten your rotation to beat the Lakers. If you want to try to outlast the Lakers, you got to use as many guys as you can. And they're not going to do that. And this is what's going to cost them the series. Bol is barely even playing. He's one of the best rookies, on the court. 7'2", can shoot threes, can get out there, can run. I'm like, they're not using him. They already without Will Barton. Will Barton's one of the better defenders in the league, and Gary Harris is playing hurt. So I think them shortening rotation, it messes them up, and the Lakers can seize that opportunity to beat them. I think Denver's going to get in their own way, and that's why they're going to lose this series.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on Mark, because when you just trying to do 5-on-5 with the Lakers, you got LeBron James and you got AD. It's hard to do, but if you got the talent to go 10 deep, you can just keep running and get people tired. And Michael Porter is a raw offensive talent that when he's in a groove, I think it was like game 4. He was on the fucking groove, and Malone took his ass out. Malone took his ass out. I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
So I can see that. I also want to just speak real quick about the Doc Rivers shit. Man, Doc Rivers has lost 8 game 7s. That's the most in NBA history as a coach. The next coach close to that has lost 5 game 7s. Doc Rivers has been up 3-1 3 separate times, with Orlando against Detroit, with we had T-Mac, up 3-1 with the Clippers, with the Lob City. He had Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, and then he's up 3-1 with the Clark Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. You got Lemon Pepper Lou. So like the team that he's up 3-1 is all them was championship contender teams, with exception of maybe Orlando. But he haven't done anything since Boston, man. It's almost like I got more respect now for Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce, because now I'm thinking it was more them than it was Doc.
It was Rondo. Keep telling y'all that. Rondo.
Rondo too. Another thing about that, Doc and Rondo butted heads a lot during that year. Doc don't like to play young guys. And piggyback off what Mark said, he don't really like to play young guys. Like you either have to be needed, a position that's needed that was missing, or you got to be
unless your name Austin.
Exceptional. Yeah, right. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. You mentioned putting Doc, he's good with personnel, but if you put him in that GM position or the personnel position, you got to make sure there's nobody that he has love for or akin to him, because one of the fallouts Chris Paul had with Doc was, I think they had a chance to trade for Carmelo, and Doc turned down the trade because they wanted Austin Rivers. He didn't want to trade Austin Rivers as part of a package deal for Carmelo, and Chris Paul found out about that, and that was the decline of the relationship between Chris Paul and Doc. and the Lob City.
Well, Doc ain't better than Jerry West.
Are you trading your son though?
You know what I mean? For he ain't better than Jerry West.
Y'all trading your son
to win?
What? I don't believe y'all, man. I do not believe y'all. Y'all are not trading your son, man.
You better ask shit.
Dre.
I'm not trading my son, yo.
I'm trading my son. I will see the nigga at night at home.
No, you're not, nigga. He not coming to Thanksgiving no more, nigga.
He got $45 million from the Clippers. He was all right. You know what I mean? He got the money. He got him.
Hey, real quick, we got to realize that these are. We're not even talking about Western Conference Finals. These are losses. These are 3-1 losses in the semis. Doc Rivers is responsible for 2 of the worst choke jobs in NBA history. The one with Lob City and the one that just happened.
Yep.
Things like that cannot happen. And I want to speak on LeBron real quick. Dre, I'm like you. I'm a bona fide Laker fan. I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm a Laker fan, but I have to defend LeBron because people continually put him in a lose-lose situation. It is not LeBron's fault that the Clippers lost. I don't want to hear everybody see like they're trying to put a narrative, whereas what?
You didn't say that. Nobody said that.
No, I'm just saying I didn't. I was just saying I didn't defend.
What are you talking about?
Please change your narrative. You said I defended
nobody
LeBron.
said that.
Here's what
I would never defend LeBron.
I'm not talking about you guys, but what I'm saying is there's always a narrative that's going to be created to discredit anything that LeBron does. So now, granted, what everybody's going to say, let's just say the Lakers going to win a title. People are going to say, man, they're lucky they didn't have to play the Clippers. Well, they actually had to go through the team that beat the fucking Clippers. Can I finish? You talk for like 30 fucking minutes. Can I finish?
I brought great content, motherfucker. Oh, go ahead, my bad. I'm sorry.
Why y'all so hostile today?
Unity.
Yeah, unity.
So it's a lose-lose situation. The Lakers, I got the Lakers in 5 in this series. Believe it or not, I would rather play Boston than the Heat because the Heat are slept on. The Heat got a whole lot of dogs on their team. Jimmy Butler. They asked Jimmy Butler why he didn't bring any family into the bubble when they were allowed to bring family in. Jimmy Butler got a report and said, "This is a fucking business trip. I'm here to conduct business." They got Tyler Hero. They got Bam Adebayo. They got Kenny Olin. They got guys on their team. Gets it. Yes, they have. I know I might sound crazy because they got JT and them boys. They got Jaylen Brown. They got all.
Didn't you do the same thing? Didn't you do the same thing with Portland?
Who?
You. Didn't we go down this road with Portland where it was supposed to be so tough and everybody was available and everybody could? It was a tough matchup for the Lakers and shit. I'm just asking.
I'm just trying to be objective. I got the Lakers.
I think he just praising Jimmy Butler, and I agree with him. Like Jimmy, like I would not want to play if I'm the Lakers, Denver, or Boston. I would not want to play Jimmy Butler on the Game 7. Like Jimmy Butler is probably the only other motherfucker besides LeBron that got that it factor that would scare a motherfucker or would carry a team, and his will was spilled over into his teammates. Jimmy Butler is a different dog. He's just a different dog. I think it's more about the fact that Jimmy Butler is just he has that killer instinct. Ever got that Mamba, he got that MJ in him. He's a different animal out of everybody else that's left, not named LeBron. And I think he's giving more praise to far as like the Jimmy Butler and his crew.
He instills will in every team in the teams that he's been on. If they have some talent, he instills will. He did it,
or fear, fear.
That too.
And you know what, Mark, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I think that's why he left Philly because he didn't respect the coach. No, I think that's why he wanted to
respect the coach, and he didn't respect Ben Simmons, for not wanting to change his game. You know what I mean? That came out. So,
Listen, Stacks, you said something that we already had touched on. This before the bubble, this was a lose-lose situation for LeBron. Because anytime you stop a season like this, something that's very unprecedented and never happened before, and then you go on to win, and then with winning, all the games hadn't been finished. It's different when San Antonio won back in '99, where the season started late and they just took off like 15 games or whatever it was. They actually stopped the season for like, 2-3 months? And then came back and was like, here, play 10 games, and then we're going to go into the playoffs. And we're not going to bring everybody into the bubble. And all of those things matter in the playoffs, whether people want to admit to it or not. So to win the championship at this time is already like, we're going to put an asterisk here. So, and then if you lose, you're going to take the heat because no one is going to give you that same feeling. No one is going to be like, oh, well, it was the bubble and all this and that. People are going to be like, no, you're LeBron James, you're supposed to win. So we've already said that this was a lose-lose situation for LeBron at the beginning. And I think it is a lose-lose, and I think he deserves for it to be a lose-lose. Plain and simple.
Yeah, and
I mean, when you great, that comes with it.
I think the fact
I don't think it hurt his legacy if he wins. I don't think it hurt his legacy at all.
hurt his legacy.
Everybody.
Huh?
What?
Everybody came into the bubble everybody came into the bubble under the same circumstances. Now you can argue that it's a little bit harder because if you earn a number one seed, you're not getting those 4 games in your gym. Every game is a neutral site game. So we got to factor in that degree of difficulty because that makes it a little bit harder because Lakers is the number one seed. And I didn't like how LeBron was bitching when we lost that first game to Portland, saying, "Oh, I don't know what it's ever like to be a number one seed and not playing the games at home." I don't want to hear that shit. I don't like excuses. So therefore,
that's some creating the narrative. And again, I know we got the transition on the NFL. I'll just leave it with this. I do think that there's a lot of factors, to me personally, that will create an asterisk for this season. Because you got to think about it. You don't have Golden State in there at full strength. You don't have Brooklyn in there with KD in the playoffs. You're talking about 2 major elements that would naturally be in a situation that can compete for the title. Golden State and KD somewhere else, right? So you got 2 monsters that's not even in there. So it creates a situation where you got the Lakers. It's a clear path. That path got clearer when the Clippers fucking gagged last night and could not make it to it hold the end of the bargain. So again, I'm not feeling the NBA season this year. I don't like the Lakers. I never did like the Lakers. Always hate the Lakers. I definitely like LeBron like that. I just hope that the Denver Nuggets figure out something to beat them. I hope that if they don't beat them, Miami or Boston come back and beat them. And I hope that Stacks hurt and cry after they lose. So
Lakers at 5.
Speaking of hurting and crying, Mark, Philadelphia lost to the Washington team of Washington, D.C. So they're saying, what are you doing, Stacks? They're saying that they want to win.
National, we on TV.
Wait a minute, say that again.
Now everyone is crying for Wentz to take the bench, or they're talking about just blowing the whole thing up. What are your thoughts over there, man? Billy's radioactive right now.
I'm gonna say like this: it is no blowing anything up. That definitely wasn't talked about, but Wentz was, and he's out here making rookie mistakes, right? You know what I'm saying? I will give credit, to Washington's team. The defensive line, pushed the offensive line around the whole game, and they really got after those guys, and it manifested, into what it was in the second half. Carson Wentz, made it even worse because Washington had short fields like the whole second half. And that's unacceptable. Holding on to the ball is unacceptable. Not throwing it away is unacceptable. And that little stupid duck move that he does and then still gets pounded into the dirt, that's stupid too, right? And one thing about the NFL, it stands for not for long, right? You know, it doesn't matter what your contract is. This is the one thing that's different from the NBA. The NBA, if you make $100 million or something like that, you're staying on the court no matter what. In football, it does not matter. You know, I'm saying the pressure is on Wentz. He's still going to go out here and start, you know, the next week, and he'll probably start the week after. But if any of these games look like that game one, Hurts will be ready to go, and he'll be in there. You know, so I'm just like, man, you can't make those type of mistakes as a franchise quarterback. You just cannot do that, and you can't just lean on the defense. Oh, defense, please bail us out. I'm just like, you know, it's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable play. And you have to be better prepared than that. I understand, you know, that we have a whole bunch of injuries, cool, whatever, but you still have to be prepared, and he's not prepared, and he was out there. And I'm just like, you're the quarterback, you're leading the team, and he didn't get it done. And since he didn't get it done, you know, that's exactly what happened. He deserved to lose. He made the offense look bad. You know, and he ain't the only one to blame, you know what I'm saying? But he's the quarterback, so he's going to take the most blame, and he should.
So Stacks, can I speak? You feeling good, Stacks? So what you got to say, man?
Yes, I think I should have been able to allow first because I'm surrounded by fucking losers from week one. I think every single one of you teams is lost, so I'm gonna get that shit out of the way.
Well, we don't know how many of Dre's teams, you know what I mean, lost. We don't know that.
Dre went.
One of his teams lost, so I'm counting them as a loser as well.
Okay,
Sorry, Dre.
Right.
Here's what I'm going to tell you.
Buffalo won.
Huh? And Carolina?
Carolina lost.
Anyway,
Patriots won.
Patriots won. Yeah, 2-6.
All right, so Drake 2-1.
Two of his teams won, but 6 lost.
Okay.
6 lost.
So Mark, I think people are putting too much of the blame on Wentz and not giving the Washington football team a lot of credit simply because I've been watching the Redskins lose for like 30 years. Like seriously. Typically we'll get put up. We'll put up like last year. Matter of fact, last year we was up on the Eagles 17-0. And we ended up losing the game like 32-21. But we have a new coach, new culture. Thanks for the coach too, by the way, Dre. We really appreciate that. I just want to put that out there. But we adjusted. I think that we made some adjustments that front seven, as we talked about, you co-signed, Sean, they went to work. Wentz was on his ass all second half, baby. So, I mean, I don't think it was all Wentz. I just think that it was a really good adjustment at halftime, and y'all got y'all ass whooped. Now, those interceptions, yeah, okay, I'm going to go there and say, yeah, Wentz need to take better care of the ball. But that defense showed up to play, and I knew our offense was going to be kind of stagnant, but like you said, y'all gave us a lot of short fields in the second half. Hell to the football team.
And I mean, man, and y'all attacked the middle of the field, and the Eagles, you know what I mean? Once again, the Eagles were weak. The linebackers are young. They didn't know what to do. They were flying around the ball and not tackling anybody. And that tight end was getting over the middle of the field. You had that running back. All of their offense, was coming in the middle of the field. Wasn't even coming on the outsides. It wasn't coming, from the line of scrimmage. It was just like, look, the middle of the field's open. These linebackers don't know how to play, and we're going to attack them. And Washington did what they needed to do. It's just like, look, the safeties ain't playing well. The linebackers ain't playing well, and that's how we're going to score points, and that's exactly what they did,
So, Dre, do you think that week one is a panic week, given the fact that there was no type of preseason, especially for teams who got new coaching systems and new things in place? Do you think week one is just a panic, or do you think it's something that to pay close attention to moving forward?
I've never thought week one is a panic. Week one is week one. How is week one different from week 10? As far as whether you won or lost. You can see the difference. If you look, let's look at Carolina. Matt Rule came in, he made a rookie mistake. It's 4th and inches, and you get the ball to the fullback as opposed to going to the all-pro Christian McCaffrey. You know what I mean? But then you look at someone that also was at a new team. You look at Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera was able to do his thing and lead his team to victory. It's just the mindset and it's the confidence that you gain as a coach as you go on. So week one is definitely not a panic. I think week one maybe give some teams some false hope. One of those teams being false hope is going to be the Carolina Panthers. Week one, they were supposed to just it was supposed to be a major L for them. They don't have an offense. They don't have a defense. They was able to go in that game. They came back. They took the lead. They gave it up because the defense is actually non-existent. The Raiders scored on every possession with the exception of 2. So that just lets you know what the defense in Carolina is at right now. But that's going to happen when you lose Thomas Davis over the years. You lose Luke Kuechly over the years. Those are the cornerstone and the backbone of a defense. Luke Kuechly is argued to be the best linebacker over the past few years, with old boy also in San Francisco. And if you want to go with Bobby Wagner up in Seattle, it was those 3. So Carolina actually, looked okay, but I think that was a false sense of security. But then you have guys, I'm not gonna say Philly is done, but I am gonna say I'm gonna talk my shit because for those that don't know, we just got shotgun blast Saturday afternoon. I don't know what was happening. I don't know if somebody was like smoking on some herbal or something, but somebody just started coming at everybody in the group. You know what I'm saying? The Cowboys are trash. The Bills are trash. The Panthers are trash. Washington fans can't talk to him until 2025. The 49ers got the worst coach in the league when it comes to Super Bowls. Like, everything was put on the table, but now they're up here being humble. I just don't understand that. But I'm going to throw it back to you, Sean, so we ain't going to talk about it no
more. So Murr, I'm going to throw it back to you.
Don't pass it back to me.
So Murr, I'm going to throw it back to you, Murr. What are your takeaway from week one, man? Your team lost as well. So what are your takeaway from week one?
Trash. You can tell motherfuckers they never won before, or at least in 15 years. I feel a little different. I feel a little different from Dre. Under normal circumstances, week one is not a panic. But this year I feel a little different. I wouldn't say week one is I don't want to use the word panic, but if you start off 0-1 this year, you need to really have if you start off 0-1 this week, you need to have a come to Jesus meeting and a real self-evaluation this week. And let me say why. We don't know what the fuck can happen. They've done a real good job. They got the bracelets as far as like the COVID-19 and shit, right? So every win and loss, in my opinion, is going to be crucial right now. Starting week one, it's like the playoffs started today, because let's say somebody like Baltimore, if they started off 0-1, they didn't, and Lamar Jackson gets diagnosed with COVID, that's 14 days. More than likely, Baltimore, that's more than likely 2 L's. So every loss, every win right now, the beginning of week one is almost like how college was 10 years ago. The top 2 teams go play for a championship. So every game is like a fucking playoff, and I feel that's how this year is for NFL, because if a key player catches that, you already got injuries, no preseason game, so you were able to get your body ready to be hit from other people. That's why there's a lot of injuries off the first week. So you got that with no preseason. Then you still got the risk of a star player catching COVID. They got to go immediate quarantine. So if you start off 0-1, I'm not going to use the panic word, but close to it, only because of the situation that's going on in the world right now. Is the main reason why I said if you start off 0-1, yeah, you close to you almost need the panic button, but you got to right the ship right fucking now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. For me, I think I agree with Murph wholeheartedly. I think that 0-1 starting out the gate, especially when you lose to like a conference team or lose to a divisional team, I think that hurts a lot because injuries are going to pile up. Hopefully they don't. God willing, everybody stay safe. But no one had a chance to like really do preseason. Nobody had a chance to really get hit, really get touched, and now they're starting to get touched. And you're going to start seeing the battle of attrition over the next few weeks now. Mark mentioned it earlier. First start at the game, I think you lost your offensive lineman. Lane Johnson didn't play that game. Yes, I think Hargrave, he was out as well. So you come into the game injury plague. I mean, the Cowboys left. We losing our top linebacker. Leighton Vander Esch will be out for 6 to 8 weeks. We got 2 offensive linemen starters gone for at least another 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, it just
tight end out for the season, right?
Tight end out for the season.
Sean.
Yo,
Richard Sherman is on IR now with Deebo Samuel.
I saw that. I saw that. So I mean, you're talking about these injuries, and to your point, Murph, you're not even talking about COVID yet. You're just talking about injuries right now that are freak injuries that will take these guys out for half of the season. So it's going to all be about what does your bench look like? How deep is the team? And can it overcome the injuries into the schedule? And if you look at the schedules, guys, the schedules are not easy for no one. I think next week, coming up this week, who you got this week, Murph, 49? Who you guys playing this week?
We got Jets.
Yeah, that should be a win.
Yeah, it should be a win.
Stacks, who you guys got this week?
We got the Cardinals.
That's a loss.
I agree. Team ass. Yeah, those guys.
Yeah, y'all losing to the Cardinals. Dre, who you got?
The Panthers got Tampa Bay, and
that's a loss.
The Bills got the Dolphins.
That's a win.
And the Patriots. Who the Patriots got?
Who the Patriots got?
And who the Chargers got?
Seattle.
And who the Bears got?
Seattle. The hell.
And who Seattle got?
And the Canadian Canucks. All right, my bad. And Mark, you guys got Seattle, right?
No, we got the Rams.
The Rams. That's right. You got the Rams.
That's a loss.
That would be a loss.
You already beat them twice before. So,
and I got
this
Atlanta.
season.
Yeah.
Atlanta got a football team?
Aaron Donald ain't got a sack on us.
Are they called the Atlanta football team or the Atlanta football clique? That's what
the football clique.
Hey, can we talk about how they got a Viagra slogan, like "Rise Up"? Like,
come on, man.
Y'all got the Rams, right?
Yeah. And Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald he's an alien. He's not a human being. This dude, y'all see how this dude ran over a 200-300-pound lineman like what nothing. He pick up Zeke like a rag doll.
I know.
You saw what Washington just did to your line. What do you think Aaron Donald's going to do?
But we get 2 starting linemen back, so line's going to look different.
But Stacks, he only got 1 sack against us, though. He only got 1 sack. He ain't got
nothing on us before.
That was his first sack ever.
Dallas got a good offensive line.
No, we banged up, bro. We got 2 offensive linemen. No, actually 3 because one retired. 3 on the line. So we got Atlanta this week coming up. I don't feel good about that, I'll be honest. Because we're still trying to get acclimated to McCarthy, and we still showing some bad habits. Kellen Moore is still playing out of Jason Garrett's playbook.
Well, you know what, Sean? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Let me ask you though, how do you feel about your secondary and your back 7? Because Atlanta loves to throw the ball. If you feel good about that, I'm like, man, you probably have some success against them if you feel good about it.
I don't feel bad about them, but it's one of those things where Alden Smith is showing like he's a monster, and for him to have 10 tackles and a sack last Sunday, and to be able to disrupt the front line like that, he's going to do the same thing to Atlanta and give those backs back there a chance to be able to make a good play. I'm not really concerned because
you shouldn't be concerned.
Matt Ryan throws the ball downfield, but he holds the ball as well. And I think
he's going to throw an interception in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you can count.
Absolutely.
You can count. So
he throws it a ton. That's all I'm saying. He throws it a ton.
Hey, Sean.
Yo.
But the issue with y'all is, and I don't know if you see this, y'all got one of the best running backs in the league in Ezekiel Elliott. It seems like y'all want to be a passing team so bad. I mean, I know y'all got 3 really good receivers, and you got Dak, but I don't think you guys utilize Zeke as much as y'all should. Y'all run him and all that stuff, but he should be the feature back that gets 20 to 25 carries a game. It's like Kellen Moore is intent on calling these plays where y'all just launching the ball down the field. You have Zeke back there.
But he didn't do it this last week. He ran Zeke too much. He got too happy. First down runs. You can't do that. You gotta play action every now and then to get Zeke into a good groove and make sure that he can burn that team down. I'm sure they're gonna make some changes. I can't see McCarthy allowing Kellen Moore to continue to call out of that Jason Garrett playbook. So I can see McCarthy making some adjustments, getting ready for Atlanta. He said the honeymoon is over. So whatever that means, we'll see. I'm not looking forward to it. It's a 1 o'clock. We all got 1 o'clock games. So I'm glad that's going to be over early so I can get a chance to rest at night after the games are over. And so we'll see, fellas. We'll see. So, yo, let's go to wrap this thing up, guys. Good show tonight, fellas. Good show. We can go on and on about football, NFL, NBA, all that good stuff. So, Dre, let's start with you, man. What's your 90-second wrap-up, man?
It's not going to be 90 seconds, man. I just want to say a big up to hip-hop, man. I think hip-hop is really coming back. I'm not going to necessarily say coming back, but I think to the forefront, the mainstream, I think hip-hop is really getting a push right now of what we love as, when we were younger. I think those days are coming back when you listen to Griselda, even when you listen to Big Sean. I really challenge people to listen to Big Sean and not think of him as the guy that came out with the Shardy Day song or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Big Sean is real dope. Hip hop is really putting on right now, and I'm enjoying every piece of it.
Absolutely. Mark, what you got for us, man?
Man, I'm like, man, one thing, college sports are trying to make their way back. The Big Ten, just elected to get this football season going. Hopefully everybody can stay safe, COVID-free. College basketball, they said they announced that's going to kick off November 25th. So hopefully, these teams, can stay COVID-free, stay safe or whatever. My nephew's football season was torpedoed because of COVID. So anytime, kids get a chance to play, whether it's football, basketball, whatever sport, if they can play it safely, it's good for them. So it's kind of, it just sucks for him because all he's doing is just training. He's not getting out there to play. And some of his friends in other leagues are playing. So I would just say to all the kids, man, all the parents of kids, just keep your kids safe, but if they can train, they can do something, they can run, just let them go out there and do it. And for all the parents who do have basketball players, I think, y'all seasons are going to be fine and they're going to be able to play.
Yeah. What you got, Stacks?
It's kind of a little bit of what Mark said, but I'm gonna shout out the sports overall. Sports is brings normalcy back to this COVID situation. Last Thursday, gentlemen, all 4 major sports were played, and I believe the NBA and the NHL playoff games on that day, along with a tennis Grand Slam tournament going on and college football. I don't think we'll ever get that again, but in these unprecedented times with all these sports going on at the same time, that's what we got last Thursday. It won't that's something that really doesn't happen all that often. And I appreciate it because it gives us a sense of normalcy during these times. Shout out to the players. Because it takes sacrifice. You're out there literally with your life on the line trying to entertain people. Like Mark said, the Big Ten, I don't know if they were just waiting to see teams test it out or whatever, but the Big Ten decided today they were going to play ball. So shout out to sports. Hopefully those guys stay safe. And that's just something that distracts us from everything that's going on in this world with COVID and all the culture wars and all the politics that's going on. So shout out to that.
Murray, what you got for us, man?
Well, my wrap up is about the fucking 49ers and Jimmy G. I've been hearing a lot of shit over the past week, especially after the fucking loss. Everybody's fucking defending Jimmy G as a fucking quarterback. Talking about he put up stats, he does this, he does that. All right, we're still a fucking quarterback away from winning the fucking Super Bowl. Jimmy G is fucking garbage. Yes, Jimmy G puts up maybe he's gonna put up 250 yards passing. He's gonna get 2 fucking touchdowns, and he's gonna have 70% completion percentage. But that 70%, most of that shit is fucking 5-yard throws. Anybody, shit, if you're an NFL player, you should be able to complete 70% of 5-yard throws. And the touchdowns and the yardage, either a wide receiver or a tight end or a running back is going to catch a fucking 5-yard catch, 5-yard pass, and run 70 yards for a fucking touchdown to boost up his fucking stats. Okay? So if you just look at the fucking stats in the game, yes, motherfucker got great fucking stats. But if you look at his fucking play inside the game, he is horrible. He's average at best at in-game performance, in-game decision making, and when it comes to the clutch, the motherfucker overthrows or misses his fucking receiver. All right? So for us to win a Super Bowl, our running backs got to play like fucking monsters, and our wide receivers got to play like fucking monsters, and our defense got to play like fucking monsters in spite of fucking Jimmy Garoppolo. All right? I don't fuck with Jimmy.
I got a question before Sean. I just got a quick question about this rant, Sean. So losing the Super Bowl had nothing to do with just not running the ball?
Oh, no. Mike Shanahan should have fucking kept running instead of putting it in Jimmy's hands. But I will say this. Even with that dumbass decision by stopping the run, because in the second half, our fucking running back only had 6 or 7 fucking carries, which I still don't understand that shit. And with all that being said, all that fucking Jimmy G, the fucking porn star, Jimmy G, the porn star, all they had to do was complete 1 fucking pass to Emmanuel Sanders, 4th quarter, 2 minutes left, wide open, fucking touchdown, and he's not and we win the fucking game. You know what? He overthrows a wide open fucking Emmanuel Sanders for a fucking touchdown. You know why? Because he's fucking garbage.
Sounds like Matt Ryan.
This dude throwing shit
this dude really upset, man. Hey, this dude really upset. I love it. I love it.
Hey,
I fucking
love it too.
Really upset. I guess I can't go behind that kind of passion. I would just say that watching the Cowboys play, I just shake my head like, damn, did we really get rid of Jason Garrett? Because it looked the same way. The same team, same shit, same dumb stuff. Hopefully we can change that. I don't have a great feeling about Mike McCarthy, because you think about how he played in, how he coached in Green Bay. Was that a product of Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre and just some things that bounced their way, or was he really a really good coach? He talks a great game. He says the right things. It makes sense, but it doesn't translate on the field, and that's why I'm really concerned. Talented team. I'm trying to figure out what in the world happened to Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith has regressed tremendously after he got that bag, and it's not even funny anymore. It's comical to see him play linebacker. So this week I'm worried because Danny is a Falcons fan, and and I don't feel good about that game against the Falcons on Sunday. So with that said, again, shout out to all of our listeners. Shout out to Spotify. Shout out to Apple, YouTube. Thank you, Blackjack TV, channel 199 on Zingo Network. We appreciate all of you guys out there who supported us, who listened to us, or who commented with us, or enjoyed your stuff tonight with us. And until next time, fellas, hey, I salute you guys. Peace out.